Hello, and welcome to episode 8 of Daryl Show Your Work. And in this lab, we'll be going over more packet analysis tools that we could use for our network monitoring, specifically Wireshark, which is tshark's GUI brethren, and a command line based tool, Tcpdump. So the first disclaimer I wanted to give is I know some people have brought to my attention that the font tends to be a little small on their screen, and sometimes it's hard to see. So the best thing I want to advise is to watch this in full screen mode if you're watching on YouTube or any other platform that allows it. It's a limitation of the lab that I'm using, and hopefully when I migrate to other environments, I won't have this same issue. But again, I just strongly advise to watch this in full screen mode so you can clearly see the the commands that I'm writing and be able to follow along if you're doing so. And I'll start saying this in the beginning of my videos as well, just for any newcomers or those who, as a reminder for those who faithfully watch. Okay, so to begin, I did want to start off with the Wireshark GUI, but before I get to that, I want to go over TCP dump a little bit. TCP dump, it works very similar to tshark, where it's command line based and it gathers our network traffic, specifically the packets, and we can put those into PCAP files for further analysis. But I wanted to start out by showing what some of our options are when using the tool. So I'm going to do TCP dump dash dash help, which takes us to our help page. And as you can see here, you can see what some of our options here are if we wanted to look for we wanted specific details when looking through our PCAP files or when looking through packets, such as size, count. We wanted the specific interface, things of that nature. All right, so but to jump right into this, first we're going to be using Wireshark to do some a packet analysis of the telnet protocol, which again is a Cleartext protocol that is used to connect to remotely to other machines. So I'm going to start up Wireshark by giving myself some root privileges here without switching the root. I'm going to do sudo and then Wireshark, and this is going to boot the GUI interface up for us. Put in my password. All right, we're booting up. All right, so we're going to be working from the ETH0 interface. So I'm going to select that, and once I do, it's going to already start up Wireshark for us. So usually this will be blue. That will be an indicator to click on that to play. So right now it's already generating some traffic for us. So let's open up another terminal here, and then we are going to start making our telnet connection. All right, so in order to do that, we do sudo and then telnet, telling Kali which protocol I want to use, and then I'm going to tell it where the machine is located that I want to connect to, which is at 192.168.1 dot 102. All right, so I have authenticate again because I'm using root privileges. Callie wants to make sure that I'm still the same person. All right. Okay, so once I'm connecting to the machine, it wants to know what username and password that I want to log in on there. So I'm going to tell it that I want to use the user root, and then I'm going to give it my password. And I have a strange feeling that we're going to find out what that password is without me necessarily having to tell you. So now that I'm have successfully made this telnet connection, I'm going to give it a simple command, just again, so we can generate some more traffic. When I authenticated, that already generated some traffic, and that's basically the traffic that we're going to be looking at, is that authentication traffic, because that's the most important thing out of all of this. But I'm going to still run this whoami command, and it's going to tell me that I'm root, because that's what I logged in as. All right, so we're going to go back here to telnet. To Wireshark to look at our telnet packages. All right, I'm gonna hit stop, and I'm gonna choose one of these telnet packages, and I'm gonna right click on it, and I'm gonna scroll down here to follow, and I'm gonna follow the TCP stream, because we're using a TCP protocol, which is telnet. All right, so similar to when we were using tshark, and we were able to see the Cleartext version of our password, it's already showing us here the Cleartext version of our username. So you could use the red and the blue interchangeably, but it's telling us that we logged in as root when you look at that. And then, but most importantly, it shows that what our Cleartext password is, which is toor. It's root written backwards. So if I'm an attacker and I'm doing passive recon on your enterprise, and someone uses a Cleartext protocol like telnet to make a remote connection to another machine, and I'm able to capture this, then I can try to, from the outside, externally or internally, depending on how far into this I am, I can basically try to log into the same machine using these same credentials as this user, which we don't want. All right, so one thing we want to get in the habit of when we do our analysis, let's say we're in the middle of some type of triage, or middle of some type of incident response, and we find some particularly interesting information in our packet analysis that we want to share with our colleagues, we save our work. So I'm going to File, Save As, and let's see. I'm going to call this file simply telnet underscore packages. So we're going to do telnet underscore packets. All right, and and then Wireshark tells me the format it's going to save it in for me. So I'm gonna just hit save, and it's going to save that onto my desktop for me. All right. So moving on, the next thing I want to do, so I want to tag team the next packet analysis that we do. So first, I want to run a Tcpdump to actually capture the packet traffic that we're going to generate doing a SSH encrypted connection, and then I'm going to capture that traffic, and then I'm going to output it to a PCAP file, and then we're going to take that PCAP file, and we're going to then do some further analysis in Wireshark with it. So first, we're going to start out using Tcpdump to perform the capture, and then we're going to analyze the PCAP file that it generates in Wireshark. So let's get started. All right. So I'm going to exit out of our telnet session here. All right. And then the first thing I want to do is I want to start to create. I'm going to open up another terminal here. And the first thing I want to do is I want to begin that Tcpdump session and create the file that we're going to output it to. So I'm going to do sudo Tcpdump. All right, then I'm gonna specify the interface we're working with, which is each0, and then I'm gonna tell it to write the output to a file called ssh underscore packets. I want this to be a pcat ng file. All right. Check my syntax here. All right. Look like we're good to go. I'm going to hit enter. All right. I have to authenticate again with Kali. All right. So our packet capture has started. So, all right, going to another window here. Now we're going to start to try to establish that SSH session. So I'm going to do SSH. Then I'm telling I want to log in as the root user, and I want to log in at address 192.168.1.100. All right, I'm going to hit enter. Yes. All right, so now it wants to know what the password to the machine here. So I'm going to give it the password, and let's see, will we be able to see this one in Cleartext using the SSH protocol. All right, so I'm in. All right, so we're going to do a simple command, whoami command, and tells us we're root. All right, so now let's go back to our Tcpdump session. So it's not going to immediately show any sort of output, but I'm going to hit Control and then C to stop it. And whoa, it gathered quite a bit of packets doing that. 19,329. Now we're not gonna look at all of those packets, but what we're going to do is going to go to Wireshark. And you know what? I forgot to turn back on our Wireshark, but you know what? That's no problem. We could just do this over again. So start up the Wireshark this time. And then, all right, so then this time I'm just going to go back to my history. I'm going to run that command again. All right, it's listening again. It's going to output to that same file. All right, and then we're going to go back here. Let's do an exit, and we're going to authenticate again. All right, so go through my history. All right, we're going to authenticate to the same server. All right, I'm going to enter in my password again. All right, we're back in. I'm going to do who am I? All right, and now we're going to go back to Tcpdump. And now we're going to end that. Control C. All right, now that looks more normal. 92 packets, all right. Okay, I knew something was wrong when that many packets was captured in such a little time. All right, I'm going to hit stop here. All right, so I'm going to choose a random SSH packet. Let's see, scroll up a bit. All right. And let's see if we can, I'm going to follow the TCP stream for it. And let's see if we can see any type of clear text protocol, well, at least clear text going on here. All right. So as we can see, everything looks encrypted. See if I could find, trying to find where the key pairs session was initiated. Let me see. Oh, okay. Let's see. Let's try to do this. Let's narrow down our traffic by doing SSH. Enter. All right. So let's right click this. All right. Let's file that TCP stream. Still not giving me that key pair exchange that I was looking for in the beginning of our connection. But that's no problem. We're going to do another secure protocol connection, and I will try to find it there. So that is basically a SSH connection. But as you can see, regardless, the traffic that it captured was encrypted, and we were not able to see any clear text, including our authentication. So as I said before, we're going to save our work, and we're just going to call this, since we already have one called SSH package, let's call this just key. It's somewhere in there, not sure where, but we're just going to call this key exchange. All right, we're going to hit save. All right, so then the next protocol we're going to be using here and doing some analysis of is the FTP protocol, which is another clear text protocol. So this time I'm going to remember to start off by starting my Wireshark session to start capturing the traffic. All right, now I'm going to switch back. Let's switch back to our SSH session, and I'm going to exit out of that. All right, then I'm going to create another a test file for us to use. So this time I'm going to use the echo command, and basically I'm telling Callie that, hey Callie, I want you to take this message unencrypted, and I'm right greater than. I want you to pipe that to a file called FTP underscore test. All right, I'm hit enter. All right, so it looks like that went through. All right, and then I'm going to begin an FTP connection here, and I'm going to FTP into a machine located at 192.168.1.103. All right, hit enter. All right, now it wants to know my username, so I'm going to give it the username of just user. All right, and then I'm going to enter my password, and we're going to see if we can see my password when going in through Wireshark, and looking at the analysis that when looking at the traffic that Wireshark is capturing. But what we want to do before then is that we want to upload this this file we just created, that we just put the term unencrypted into. We want to upload that to this FTP machine. So we're going to say input FTP underscore test.txt. All right, and that's going to upload it to the yes, and that's going to upload it to the FTP files. Okay, so something went wrong. Let's see. The FTP test. You know what? Well, let's see. We're going to exit out of there, because when I created this file, I didn't give it a proper extension. So that's why I'm telling you, you always got to make sure that your syntax is tight. So I'm going to go back. All right, now here, this is where I messed up. I should have put .txt. Okay. All right, so now that's created. Now let's go back in to our FTP session. All right, I'm going to have to re-authenticate. Put in my password again. All right, now let's do the input FTP underscore test.txt file. I'm going to hit enter. I'm going to tell it yes. This time we were successful. All right, so let's take a look at this traffic. All right, so hit stop. And let's see. Let's use a filter for this. So to filter down this traffic, to get it to where to kind of weed through all of these packets here, I'm gonna do an IP dot address equals, and we're going to say 192.168.1.103 because that's the machine we connected to. All right, I'm gonna go there. All right. So I'm going to go down to the first, looking at the protocol column here, I'm going to go down to the first packet where that I can see this clearly an FTP packet. I'm going to follow that TCP stream. All right, so looking from top to bottom where it says capital user, we can see that that the user I logged into was lowercase user. And looking at capital pass, you can see where I entered in the lowercase password as my password, and then it specifies here that that was a logged in successful. So it actually gives an attacker, if they're performing passive recon using this Wireshark tool to capture our network traffic, specifically our packets, using this Cleartext protocol, it would be able to tell that what username and what password I use, and this, so that was actually just a successful combination to log us in, and they would know um, what credentials to use to log in, and where to where's the machine that I logged into at what IP address. So again, this is why you shouldn't use clear text protocols, and this is why it should be to harden your attack surface. It should be locked down by default, unless there's some very specific reason why you want to use the clear text protocol over its more secure alternative. So keeping up with our good habits here, we're going to save this output. I'm going to go to File, Save As, and we're going to save this as FTP underscore packets. Again, in case you want a further review or you needed this, when doing a lessons learned, it's just good to save your work. All right. So I'm gonna hit save. All right, the next and final protocol that we're going to be going over is, again, this more secure alternative to FTP, which is SFTP, which stands for, as you guessed, Secure File Transfer Protocol. So we're going to do something a little bit different here. So before starting up Wireshark again, we're going to start off by using a filter. And so we're going to write TCP port, TCP dot port, and we're going to do equal, and then we're going to say port 22. And the reason we're saying port 22 is SFTP uses SSH, which is the default port of 22 is the default port of the secure shell protocol, but that's what SFTP uses to encrypt its connection traffic. So we're gonna use that. I'm gonna hit enter, and then I'm going to hit play, and so now it's automatically going to be set up to monitor that specific traffic, and hopefully this time we can see that that key exchange pair that I fumbled in my prior attempt. We can see that when doing this one. So I'm going to exit out of my FTP session here. And let's see, the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to similarly create a file here. I'm going to go back to my history. So I'm going to do the same command here, except I'm going to name this one sftp underscore test.txt, hit enter. That way ensures that the rest of my syntax is correctly and I'm not missing any extensions. And then we're going to let's switch back to Wireshark here. And it looked like it didn't capture any of that. Okay, let's continue without saving. And let's see. We may need to, before we do that, we may need to actually try to log in to the STP server to generate that key pair exchange, to show you that how the FTP works with SSH in order to encrypt this traffic. So let's do SFTP. All right, we want to tell it the user we're going to use is user at, and then we're going to do 192.168.1. Let's see. Can you guess who we're going to, what device we're going to log into? You guessed it. 103's next door neighbor, 104. All right. So we're going to hit enter. We're going to tell it yes. All right. Then now this is just asking me for a password since we've already specified the user. So I'm going to do password, and let's see, would this show the user and password when we're looking at this through Wireshark. So let's go back to our packet capture. Now we got some traffic because we're authenticated. So I'm gonna hit stop. All right, and let's see if we can see that key pair exchange. And yes, we can. All right, so as you can see, we can see the key exchange between the private key and the public key, and it's already started to encrypt our traffic, our session to the machine located at 192.168.1.104, and our SFTP session. All right, so we're not done yet though. All right, so we're going to go back to our session here, and we want to do another upload. Except this time when we do an upload, we want to tell it to upload it to somewhere specific. So this time we're going to do put, not input, just put. And then we're going to say SFTP, then test.txt. We want you to put this, and we want you to put this specifically into the upload directory of this machine. All right, we're going to hit enter. All right, so the message confirms that we have successfully uploaded. So it says uploading SFTP underscore test.txt, and it shows us that it placed it in the upload folder, and this is where the file is residing. All right, so trying to get us back to Wireshark here. So I mean, I didn't turn on Wireshark this time because I mean it's not going to, the traffic is pretty much going to, it's still going to look encrypted, but I mean that's the basic gist of how to use Wireshark, how to use Tcpdump, and how we can use those two tools in conjunction with each other. So how we can use that command line based tool to do the actual capturing and the packet sniffing, and then we can actually use the GUI based tool to then do the analysis. And there's ways with Tcpdump. We want to do the whole analysis and the capturing. We could have done that with that as well. But just showing you how you could use a variety of different tools in conjunction to each other to do the same type of job that we did before with tshark. So just wanted to get some more of that exposure, some more tools that we can use to do packet capturing and as part of our network monitoring. Well, that's going to bring us to the end of this video. Please like,